Sadly, it's in Greek, so I can't narrate it, but I can narrate it while translating it. I hope I can give you the emotion I have here. Hello guys, and welcome to another video. This video was filmed during my Yule week, but I decided to make a different video with it. I was gonna talk about dreams and sleep paralysis a lot, and I think it wouldn't match the theme of that video, so here I am making another video. So for those of you who haven't seen my Yule vlog, I mentioned that I found my dream journal while cleaning, and in here I have so many stories of dreams I've seen, nightmares most of the time, things I really want to remember, and it really helps you train your brain into remembering dreams if you write them down. But I have read a lot about dreams, and I realized that the dreams we remember are the dreams we see a few minutes before we wake up. So if you see a dream during REM sleep that it's like in the middle of your sleep circle, chances are that you aren't gonna remember it unless you wake up from it. Maybe it's a nightmare or something scares you or someone wakes you up. And of course, these stories inspired me to make so many art, like crafts, songs, photography. Before experiencing it like ever, I used to be one of these stupid people who were like,
oh, I really want to experience sleep paralysis, it sounds so cool.
One day it happened, and you really don't want these things to happen to you, trust me, it's horrible. It's been like 2 years since I have my last one, so I really think that in my case sleep paralysis happened because of stress. My last 2 years of university, 2017 and 2018, were the most stressful years, especially 2017 and the end of 2016 as well. So I was having a lot of panic attacks, I was having so many health problems due to my stress, and so I believe all this sleep paralysis that started happening to me back then wasn't irrelevant to that. I believe that was the reason, because I literally don't have any now because my stress levels are sort of normal. Thank God, I really don't want to go back to that. First, sleep paralysis revolves around, okay, don't laugh please, but revolves around supernatural. So I was binge watching the series back in 2016. Every time the episode started, they showed like what happened in the previous ones, and they showed you the mom of the two boys is like on the ceiling, and she's starting to burn, and there's this demon, the yellow-eyed demon, that's doing this to her. And when you see it, of course you're not scared. The effects are pretty poor, because it's no shade, I mean it's one of the best series out there, but it started in the early 2000s, and so yeah, the effects are not that good. We're not gonna get horrified by it, but when I was sleeping one night, I saw a scene where I was in the same house, and I knew that there was a demon there, and I knew that it's gonna do this to me. It's gonna take me and like push me on the ceiling and started putting me on fire. At some point I was running around the house trying to like put salt in the door. Yes, I've seen so many episodes of Supernatural at that point. So I was trying to save myself from this demon. It seemed that it worked, and I was starting to relax, and when I started to relax, he appeared. I remember I saw the yellow eyes, and like I closed my eyes, really scared, and I felt his hand here in my chest, and he wasn't touching me, but he was doing like a spell, and so he did this, and I was stuck on the ceiling, and I really felt a strong power here holding me on the ceiling, but I was sleeping, so it was essentially holding me down, like and so at that time I woke up because it was really sudden what had happened, and I woke up and I was not able to move. I was still feeling his power, his like imaginary hand here holding me down. And I felt like I was on the ceiling because I was like this, I was sleeping like this, and I felt like I was on the ceiling. And at the same time I was realizing that, oh, maybe you're having a sleep paralysis. But even though I had that thought, it was so hard to snap out of it, so I did not open my eyes. Yes, I am a fucking coward. I did not open my eyes. I was so scared because I knew for sure that if I open my eyes, I'm gonna see the yellow-eyed demon like this close. Because when you have a sleep paralysis, apart from the weight that you feel here, that it's pushing you down, and the ability not to move anything, you also feel like someone is this close to your face. And if you open your eyes, you're definitely gonna see some shadows and shit going on, because your brain is like, oh, we're still dreaming here. It doesn't snap out of it. So I was just waiting and waiting, trying to relax. Also, my feet were exposed, they weren't under my blanket, and I was feeling so freaking scared because of that. It's, I don't know, like the blanket gives you some sort of defense, some sort of armor when you're sleeping and having a nightmare. So yeah, that was my first sleep paralysis experience. After that, the one that I have written down, and I think it's one of the most cool stories. I don't want to romanticize it, but the dream I saw was taken straight out of a horror film or a horror video game, mostly. I have it written here. The title, because I treat these dream journals, logs, like stories. So the title is The Porcelain Doll Head. And what happened in that dream was that, okay, so this was before Corona. We were a lot of people sleeping in a theater opera kind of thing. We had like our sleeping bags on the floor, and it was like a hostel. And that was because that time of my life I was traveling a lot through Europe, and I was staying in hostels, so you have to stay with the other people as well. I think the maximum number of people I stayed were like 7-10 people. I never choose rooms with a lot of people, and I already travel with like 2, 3, 4, 5 people, so it doesn't feel like I'm staying with strangers, but at the same time I got that feeling a lot, with the feeling of staying with strangers. So this is why I saw this room. This room had a very Chinese or Japanese, I'm not sure, maybe it was Japanese, because we were sleeping on the floor. We had these mats kind of things, and we were all we took off our shoes and things like that. So it had this, I think it's Japanese. I don't want to insult everyone, sorry, I'm not very knowledgeable at this, but yeah, I think it was Japanese. And so we were sleeping, and I clearly remember that near me, like around me, there were some of my friends, some of my family members, so we were like group traveling, and we also had a lot of strangers. Again, the place was like a theater, like an opera theater, so there were like a lot of stages, stairs, curtains, like the stage, a lot of space, like really a lot of space. So it was the middle of the night, everyone was sleeping. You couldn't hear shit, like nothing. And I remember that I was naked, and as I said before, being naked while sleeping is, it makes you feel very vulnerable, very exposed. And so I was having like my blanket to cover me and save me from the evil forces of the world, the dream realm. I don't fucking know. And I woke up and the blanket was not covering me properly, and so I felt really exposed and vulnerable and scared and all of these adjectives. I just put the blanket on me in order to feel safe, because this really freaked me out. And the moment I did this, I started hearing footsteps, and I was like, fuck, I don't want anyone to see me like that. And so I just covered myself and pretended to sleep. See, like I opened my eyes like this and see people were still returning from their night out, because this is something that happens in hostels as well. It might be like 2-3 a.m. and people will return at the room trying to be as quiet as possible at their tiptoes, because they were out partying and they try not to wake up the other strangers in the room. So this, I think this is why I saw it. It was an experience I was familiar with. And yeah, they just slept, and then utter silence started again. I opened my eyes a bit and just saw around. I saw my mom, some of my friends again, you know, I was trying to familiarize myself with my surroundings. And then again, footsteps started, but this time you couldn't hear like whispers or like people, it was silent. Only footsteps, you could only hear footsteps. And they were growing louder, meaning they were coming near me. And while I had my eyes like this, I was able to see a very tall and slim figure. The figure was actually a woman, and she had no fucking head. She was holding in her head a little girl who did not have a fucking head as well, but she had a porcelain doll head stuck in her head, like really hammered in. And so she was walking with the little girl in her hand. She was just going her way. She was passing near me, like she was coming near me, and I could hear it. I could see her. She did not have a head. She was scary as fuck, but she was just going her way, walking a straight line. Now the thing is, little girl, I feel like her porcelain doll head was like moving to me, and she was kind of realizing that someone wasn't sleeping and was watching them. And so I shat my pants and closed my eyes and pretended to sleep, like. And the footsteps were really loud. I could sense them walking in front of me. And while they were walking past me, I could sense the little girl staring at me. She knew that I was awake and I was fake sleeping. She knew that I saw them. And I was like, oh no. I was not even breathing. I was standing really. I was standing still. I was trying not to move at all. And when I heard the footsteps from afar, from a distance, a safe distance, I was starting to relax my muscles, trying to like. And when I started opening my eyes, the girl came and she took the blanket and was holding it like this. She had exposed me, and I was feeling so vulnerable, and I felt her there, like her face. Of course, when she grabbed me, I closed my eyes so fucking tight, and I could feel her grab me and stare at me again. I could feel her face being this close to mine while I was sleeping, and I could hear, of course, her heavy breathing. And because this was very sudden and very, you know, scary, of course at that point I woke up, but I was in a sleep paralysis mode and my body couldn't move. I could feel her hand touching me. I was exposed from the waist and up, and so this was very, very scary. And while I was awake, I did not open my eyes again because I'm a fucking coward. But for like a second or two, I could, apart from feeling her face next to mine, I could hear her breathe. And this was like the scariest experience I had so far, and because I remember this with every detail, I rubbed it here. And yeah, so the other sleep paralysis I experienced after that weren't this scary. There were some dreams where I could see spiders, like really big spiders on my ceiling. They were having their nest, and they were trying to infect me and like put their eggs inside me, and I was like burst with having little spiders come out inside of me. And so I was seeing this spider on my ceiling, like coming next to me, trying to put all the eggs in my body, like poke me everywhere and insert them everywhere. And I was just not able to move, not able to scream. Where my sleep paralysis experiences, luckily my mental health, my stress, my anxiety recovered. I fucking finished with the fucking university, and I was trying to do more healthy choices in my life, and I think that reflected my dream life as well. But because I was living with someone in the same room the past few months, I was able to be informed by that person that I talk a lot in my dreams, and sometimes I scream in my dreams, which is something that I had no idea because I'm an only child, and like for 23 years of my life I was sleeping in my bed alone. But yeah, the funniest thing about this is that I actually say a lot of words and sentences in my sleep, things that I see in my dreams, and sometimes if I don't remember what happened in my dream, I have someone saying, "Oh, you said that in your sleep, what were you dreaming about?" And then it comes to my memory and I'm like, "Oh." And it's really funny. One story I can remember is after I was doing my jet lag sleep when I travel in Canada, trying to make up and try to wake up in the day, so I had to sleep a lot. And during this hibernation type of sleep, I saw a dream where I was in a garden next to Neuschwanstein Castle. And I have actually been there, so I had an actual experience and an actual image that I saw in real life. And so I was seeing that, and I was in a garden of roses, and I was trying to cut the infected leaves and trying to, fix that. And I was doing this, and it started becoming dark outside, and it was a night. For some reason, it became night really fast. So I was very lost. All I could see was like rose bushes and the castle, and like the garden was huge, which by the way it's not like that. The Neuschwanstein castle doesn't have a huge garden. It's like on a rock, and it's like a cliff, But for some reason I was down the cliff and there was a garden. That's imaginary, it's not like that in real life. I was trying to find my way out. It was like a maze, and it was really dark, and my feet and hands were getting bloody from all the thorns from the roses. And so I was running, and I started seeing a ghost of an elderly woman following me. And when I started running, she was running with me. She wasn't moving her legs, she was going like this. She was black and white and kind of blurry. She was repeating a name and a date. Sadly, I can't remember it, but I remember that the date was somewhere around 1940s, 30s, 40s. So I assumed it was her husband who died in the war. And she was chasing young women at that age that her husband died, like it was 25 something, really young, sadly. And she was like a wraith. She was very jealous of these women. Maybe she committed suicide out of sadness from that, I don't know. She had a really vengeful vibe. She was killing women and trying to take their men because she felt that this was taken away from her, and she was trying to do her own justice with this. And so I stumbled and fell down, and then she disappeared. And while I was lying down, with all the rose bushes forming the path in front of me and on my back, I saw hands, a lot of hands coming down of the rose bushes, and they were grabbing my legs and they were pushing me in the bushes, and there were a lot of branches, and they were trying to devour me, and I was gonna be buried underneath the garden. And while this was happening to me, I was screaming like, "Stay away from me, leave me alone," in Greek, obviously. And then I woke up, and because I had people around me, they were like, "What the fuck were you watching?" Because I legit woke everyone up, and they were like, "What the fuck happened to you? You were screaming in your sleep." And I was like, this was the first time I realized, oh, then all of these dreams I've seen, maybe I was screaming as well, and I was telling stuff, It makes you think. Maybe in real life I'm a silent person and I don't express myself that much, but in my dreams, damn, it's really interesting. I don't know, I'm not an expert, I just like reading stuff about dreams and all these experiences. So again, if you had any experiences like this, please let me know. I love reading about this kind of stuff. If you want me to make other videos related to dreams, let me know. I have plenty of stories, and yeah, that's it for this video, I think. I hope I wasn't talking for like an hour. It's gonna be hard to edit. Oh my god, I cannot shut up, can I? I hope you enjoyed and I see you in the next one. Bye! Dreams, sweet dreams are made of these.